Hey everyone, this is Jason here doing another video. This last week I got this wonderful, awesome guitar from Luna Guitars. Couldn't be happier with it. Just a great value, and just the craftsmanship in it. I'm just astounded. It's amazing. Single cutaway here. Got Fisherman Electronics on it and everything. Hey, so a friend of mine, I posted this on Facebook, and a friend of mine hit me up and was like, "Hey, I didn't know you play guitar. We were old neighbors," and he's like, "I wish I would have known because I would have gotten some guitar lessons from you." So I thought today I'd do some real guitar basics for people who are kind of wanting to learn. So this is really basic introductory stuff. There's a couple things I gotta say just before I even start showing you how to play stuff. Number one, if you're gonna learn to play guitar, it takes commitment. Just like anything that you want to get good at, it takes commitment and it takes consistency, right? So when I first started playing, it took me probably a good 3-4 weeks before I even really kind of got used to the guitar and used to the chords. And then it probably took me another good 3-4 months before I was really actually like comfortable switching between chords, playing certain songs. So just know that going into it. It's not something like you're going to pick it up right away and then all of a sudden in 3 months you're going to be playing awesome. There are people like that. I usually get really annoyed by those people. Just kidding. Those people are actually usually pretty awesome, but there are people that are naturally gifted like that. But for 99% of us, it just takes hard work and it takes persistence, right? So my recommendation is when you're first starting, one of the things that's going to bother you is your fingers. Your fingers are going to hurt. You got to build up calluses on your fingers, right? Because when your fingers are pushing against these strings, your fingers are not used to that. And so the nerve endings in your fingers are going to complain bitterly. And so what I recommend is doing it for a short amount of time. I recommend doing 1 or 2 chords, maybe 10 minutes at a time, max twice a day. But what I would shoot for and what I think is better is doing those like 10-minute intervals basically instead of trying to like really gut through like an hour of practice when you're first starting. So I think number one, that's one of the first mistakes that people make. They quit too early because when you take a music lesson or whatever, it's usually 30 minutes minimum. And so, you're playing for 20-30 minutes at that time. And a lot of times your fingers just can't handle it. So start easy, start small. And do it for about 10 minutes at a time and just get used to your fingers being on the strings. So I want to teach you probably just some real basic chords. Chords are kind of the basis for playing guitar. You can play a lot more songs with chords than you can with notes on the guitar, especially if you're kind of like a singer-songwriter like I am. That's kind of more my deal. I'm not so into learning parts and stuff like that. I got into it when I started playing electric, but for the acoustic, I learned chords. And that was good for me because then I was able to start learning songs right away. So we'll do a real easy song first. It's just 3 chords. I believe this is by the Pretenders, and it's this one, I Would Walk 1,000 Miles, and it's pretty easy. This is the G chord. So what I'm doing here is I'm moving up 1, 2, 3 frets with my middle finger here. Then on the second string here, I'm moving up 2 frets here, and then on the lower ones here, I'm on the last string, I'm on the 3rd fret, and actually the one on top of that, the 5th string, I'm on the 3rd fret, right? And that makes the key of G. And one of the things that's great about this song is it's really, really easy. So it's kind of just this. All downstrokes. When I wake up, oh, I'm gonna be the man who's waking up with you. It's really simple, right? Really simple song. So those are good ones to start out with, especially that one because it's rhythmically not that challenging. So G chord, again, going on the 3rd fret here. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay, and this is the actual G note, right? Because this is E when it's open, E, F, F sharp, G. Right, so that's our root note for the chord, okay? Second one is right here. And this is going to be a B flat, I believe. Yeah, B flat. Wait. Yeah, no, it's a B. Sorry, it's a B. It's a B. This is A. This is B. Okay? And then your other ones are going to be down at the bottom here. One here and one here. G chord, right? Okay? That's the first one you need to learn, right? And just right now, focus on the downstrokes, okay? Playing through all of it. 1, 2. So just okay. G chord, got it? Something good to practice. Okay. Next, we're going to do the C chord. Now, I want to just explain real quick. The C chord is what's called the major fourth of the G scale. Okay. So in music, the way that it works, if you haven't done music theory before, never played a musical instrument, you've got your root chord, which is your number 1. Okay. And then typically, most songs are going to be arranged with a 4 chord, major 4, a major 5, and then a minor 6th, right? So all that means is that I'm going from a, here's my 1 chord, right? Now I want to go up to my 4 chord, which is 4 steps. So I'm going to go up to a C. C is the 4th of G. D would be my next, my minor 6 would be E minor. D, C, G. So if you're looking for chords to start practicing, those are great to start with. And I'm going to show you why here in just a minute, okay? So, very important. I like this shape, especially starting out. You keep these 2 fingers anchored here. Your 3rd finger and your ring finger and your pinky finger. You keep them anchored here on this 3rd fret here, okay? All right? Your G chord is here. Playing top string 3, my 2nd string 2. There you go. All I'm going to do now to get to my C chord is drop down. Drop down a string each for these top 2 fingers. So now my ring finger, or my middle finger, is going to be here, 3rd fret, 2nd string here. And my my pointer finger is going to be on the 2nd fret, 3rd string. There's my C. It's kind of a C, I add 9, I think is what it is. So it's a variation of C, but it works really, really well, right? I can play my G and go right to my C. And it's pretty easy, especially when you're starting out. And that gets you through a lot of stuff, you know, honestly, just knowing that right there. So G chord, C chord, okay? Next one I'm going to show you is D, okay? D gets a little bit trickier. D is the only one where we're going to change things up just slightly, okay? All right, so I've still got my fingers anchored here. I'm going to take my, pointer finger here, and I'll put it on the 4th string here, 2nd fret, okay? 4th string, 2nd fret. Now, here's where things change. This is where it gets a little tricky, especially when you're first starting out, okay? I'm going to take this middle finger, I'm going to put it below on the lowest string, I'm going to pick up my pinky finger. So that's D, okay? Take a good look at that. That's D. This one goes right here, this one goes right there, and this one goes right there on the bottom, okay? Another way that you can play it is to kind of show you what it's doing. That's a lot harder though when you're starting out, so I recommend this. And again, it makes it really easy to switch, right? If I'm in D, I'm just putting my pinky down and I'm going to C, back to G, okay? So G, C, D, C, G, C, D, C. Remember I talked about that minor 6th? All right, so the minor 6th for the key of G is E minor. Okay, so we're going to do another variation of it. Again, pretty simple here. All we're doing here, E minor, is this guy, 2nd fret, 2nd string, 2nd fret, 3rd string. Okay, So I'm just dropping both my fingers back, my pointer finger, my middle finger. And you see how that has kind of a slightly different flavor to it than a major chord, right? So G major, E minor. You hear that minor chord there, right? So it's playing the 4th instead of the 5th. That's the difference between a minor and a major chord. So you can get a lot of mileage out of those 4 chords, right? Just a small town girl, born and raised in South Detroit. She took the midnight train going anywhere. I had a B minor chord in there, but you know the first part of it, it's just those 4 chords, right? Okay. A lot of songs that you can play with just those 4 chords, and that actually forms the basis of a lot of, like, most pop music is with those 4 chords, right? It's your 1, your 4, your 5, your minor. She doesn't own a dress. There is always a mess. If you catch her stealing, she won't confess. She's beautiful. Again, that's that. Basically, I'm using that G chord, C. I'm using A minor there, which is minor 2nd, and then I'm using the 5 chord. So only difference there, I'm using that minor 2nd. But learn these chords. Can't stress it enough how important it is to learn G, C, D, and E minor, and you will get through 90% of songs with those chords. Yeah. A lot of blues stuff, right? I'll play a blues in like A usually is what I do. That's your 1 chord. 4 chord, D. And your 5 Z, D, 4 chord. All that is a 1, 4, 5, right? So, and that forms the basis for 90% of blues stuff. So play a lot of stuff with that too. You know, but G, C, D, E minor. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed today's videos. I am by no means a professional YouTuber. I do this and I teach because I love teaching. And so hopefully you can pick something up from this. I'll try and post some more stuff here, especially if I get some likes and stuff like that. But this is from my friend Mark, by the way. Mark, who I used to know from back in North Bend. So I'm going to send this to him and I'm going to tell him, here you go, buddy. Now you got no excuse. Now you can start playing guitar. So anyways, I hope you guys all have a great evening.